Hello everyone, welcome back. Tonight's subject is going to be sharpening a chainsaw. And we're going to talk a little bit about it. Overlook the mess on the workbench. It's just the way it is. So this is the Husqvarna 372 24-inch bar, 3/8-inch chain. I've got it clamped up in the vise here, and I'm going to start sharpening it. Now, this may turn into a two-part video because there's several things I want to show you, and we'll see how it goes. But so hand sharpening a chainsaw is almost a lost art. It or it is in my neck of the woods anyhow. The key to sharpening a chainsaw, first and foremost, is don't let it get too dull. If you over dull it, it is very hard to get back. Or if you hit like a rock or a run it into the dirt, something along those lines, it can be a problem. But so the key is not letting it get too dull to begin with. And then when you do sharpen it, what areas are you aiming to get sharp, and how much do you file on it, etc, etc, etc. And that's kind of what I'm going to try to show you, if I can. So let me get situated here and we'll get started. Okay, so I've turned the saw around here, and we're going to start on this side. You're sharpening this side from this side from the other side. What actually does the cutting, let me shine a light here. What actually does the cutting on, I don't know whether you can see or not. What actually does the cutting is this point and across the top underneath that's the cutting edge, as well as the bevel inside. But this is a chisel tooth chain. Keep in mind, I am not a quote unquote qualified professional chain sharpener. There's no telling how many miles of it I've hand sharpened over my life, but like I said, I am by no means a professional at it. So what I'm going to show you is the way I do it and my opinion of it. So we will go from there. Alright, so let me get set up here. Okay, so you're going to be looking right down on, and the lighting may not be the best, but you're going to be looking right down from above. We'll get a couple angles here. This chain has never been sharpened. It's a 3/8 chain, so I'm using a 7/32 file. Okay, so what I'm going to do is get the file in here, and I want it, there's a line on top of that tooth. Okay, now what I want it to do, you see I'm going to run right along the factory angle and pitch, and when the file, you can feel it starts running smooth, that tooth's done. Stop. Don't file no more. Okay, so we're going to go to the next one. You may or may not be able to hear it. But once it gets polished up a little, it's fine. And you can look at it, you can tell by the way the file cut. Now I've got the camera in the way, and I really can't see what I'm doing. So now, if you'll notice that I try to run the file up against that tooth right there. Okay, kind of up against it, up and tight. And I don't put a whole lot of pressure, but I want this point right here and underneath this face to be sharp. That's what's going to cut you wood. Alright, that is sharp. And that's what you're looking to do. Okay, Now, let me hit a few more of these, and we'll reposition the camera, and I'll show you what I'm talking about. Like I said, this is a how-to on how I do. So, now if you hit something and you got to work the chain back in shape, that's a whole different ball game. So, are you going to get it exactly back to factory? No. Now see that right there? See how that file's grabbing? That tooth has hit something. So, and you can probably feel it. Yep, it's rolled over. So, and now it's sharp. If it's in really bad shape, you don't try to get it all back at one time. You sharpen it a little, and then sharpen it later on. So that's the way I always done it. When I was cutting timber, what I would do is the saw that I cut with was 32-inch bar. And that's a lot of sharpening. Okay. So what I would do, I would sharpen and you can see that tooth right there, how it's shiny. I hope you can see how it's shiny all the way around there. That tooth's sharp. That tooth's sharp. Now, that's a dull one. See the difference? I hope you can see the difference. Dull, sharp. Okay, and that point right there will actually cut you pretty easily. So that tooth's sharp, ready to go. But like I said, when I was logging, what I would do is I would sharpen the chain first thing in the morning, take that chain off and put it in my chaps pocket, which chaps are hanging here somewhere. And then I would take the one out of my pocket, sharpen it, and put on the saw. And then when it got slightly dull, even if it didn't get too bad dull, at lunchtime I would change them. And then the next morning I'd do the same routine. So that kind of kept everything going. There's a couple other things I always did when I sharpened my saw. And that may be part 2. Of course, you tighten or loosen the tension on the chain, and this one's too loose. That chain's too loose. I also do a little maintenance to the bar, and that'll probably be in the second part of this video, so stay tuned for that. But I'm gonna go ahead and get this sharpened, and like I said, you know, now there's different types of teeth for a chain, but that if I can get the light and the camera and everything held here, that will cut you now, whereas this one won't. That right there, I mean, you can see it pulling the hide. That tooth's sharp, that tooth's sharp, that one's sharp, that one's sharp, that one's not. Yep, that's right. So, but that's what you want to do. Don't overdo it. Just slick them up, is what the old man that taught me to do it used to say. Between him and my dad. Just slick them up. So what I'm going to do, like I said, I'm going to sharpen these up. And then the next one will, hope that helps you a little bit. On the next one we will, we'll do a little bar maintenance. As I'll do another video when I get close here. But that's the way you do it. And you want to sharpen both of them the same. What happens is, if you get this angle, you see that angle of that tooth? This angle right here. See how that tooth's angled? If you get that angle off, you can, you'll mess it up. You see a faint line on that tooth right there. Okay? That's the line, that's the angle that tooth should be sharpened to. So, you can see it on that. Or I hope you can see it. It's very faint. You may not be able to see it. But that's the angle that you want to sharpen it to. So until next time, like us, comment, tell us what you think, subscribe to us, check out our Facebook page, Rocky Hollow Farm. I'm going to get this thing sharpened, and then I'm going to get it off here and do a few other things with it. I will talk to you later.